It's Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher. And truth be told, I absolutely am not a computer guy. I am not a tech guy. That is why my videos always have bare bones production, stripped down. I don't like to be plugged in. If it's up to me, I prefer walking out in the sunshine, soaking up nature, having my fucking phone turned off as much as possible. But when something bigger than me speaks to me, when a spirit moves through me and wants me to communicate through this medium, I say yes. I honor it. So whenever I make a video, the content in it is inspired, and it's something that is inspiring me to make this video and saying that the content is something that should be of lasting value well after I film the video, as I am usually not going to put them up when I film them. But today's content is going to be a little different. Not different in that it will not have lasting value, but different in the subject. The material is somewhat time sensitive. We're in the month of October 2020. My birth month, the month of Scorpio rising, the month that astrologers are predicting an October surprise, a great shift on planet Earth. Some predict this shift may be very negative, something that is a great tragedy to the life process on planet Earth, the darkness coming. Others are predicting something very positive, a great awakening, an elevation of consciousness on a mass scale on planet Earth. And in the pragmatic and practical realms, here in the United States where I live, there's a big election coming up. An election that's been, I would say, is bigger than any other election I've experienced in my lifetime. And our President, Donald Trump, has recently announced that he tested positive. He and his wife tested positive for COVID-19, which has been a big subject worldwide in 2020. So first of all, my prayers go out to our President, Donald Trump, and his wife. I first and foremost pray that the Spirit of God be with you, the spirits of healing be with you, and that whatever happens, you come through in good health. And I pray for the leadership of the United States, whoever that may be, that the Spirit of God, the Spirit of truth, be in that person who's in that position, and they do the right thing. And they serve the Spirit of truth and not the spirit of the cabal. That being said, let's go back to Evolutionary Astrology, Scorpio rising. The way psychic readings work is that for those who have that gift, for those who practice that, they study symbology, they study archetypes, what they mean, what they represent, and then the way the psychic energy speaks to them, they get impressions. They get impressions of possible outcomes based off of the archetypes, based off of that information that's coming to them, based off how the stars are aligning with the planet Earth. And all this combined with the impressions they're getting, the feelings, the visions, the symbols that they're getting from their subconscious, and what's sort of being channeled through them. Nothing in these timelines is completely accurate. It never, or rarely, do we find this information play out in a literal sense, exactly the way the psychic predicts it. But a lot of times they're pretty close. So there's something about the impressions that are in alignment. It's based on something. Also, the most important part is that these timelines are not set in stone. Anything that's predicted in the stars can shift based off of a shift in the energy of the planet. And the energy of the planet is somewhat based off of human consciousness interacting with these bigger energies. So that's why we see corporate media making such a concerted effort to divert the consciousness of humanity, to put you in a fearful state. When you're doing this, you are affecting other energies. We are affecting the collective. When you go into fear, you are putting fear and terror out in the collective, and that's going to manifest in some way, shape, or form in the world. So what I've found, if you are someone on this path of truth, your work is to connect with your personal values and your practices to keep you grounded, centered, as well as your practices to open up to higher consciousness to communicate through you and to you. These distractions are going to attempt to suck you away from that sense of grounding and being centered, and pull you into something that's just not going to serve you or the life process. So whatever you practice, now is a great time to get in touch with that. This year of 2020, so many people who are caught in the matrix, they have just been wishing 2020 would be over. But for me, 2020 brought me some huge gifts. Some relationships passed away or dissolved for me. And I was sad about that, but I woke up to some higher truths, to higher communication, because I said yes. I went back into my world. I connected with my values, my practices, and the universe, God, met me with some answers, and I'm so thankful for that. So even though I get lonely sometimes, I know that I am living my truth, and I am on my path of truth. Some of you get caught up in survival mode, wanting to be ready for the end of the world, wanting to survive an apocalypse, storing excessive amounts of food. And there's a place for that. It's probably not a bad idea to have some rations around, but also think about what kind of world would that be, a post-apocalyptic world? What would you do? Are you truly fit to survive outside of the matrix? Do you know how to completely subsist on your own? What's going to give you the ability to do that? Do you have time to learn those skills? I don't. I'm absolutely doing my best to learn and step outside of the matrix as information comes to me. But I know I don't have the skills. I would probably, my physical form would die. But I don't have any fear, because I know that I am just an infinite point of awareness in an infinite field of consciousness. And whatever happens, whatever the universe, whatever the collective manifests in Jason Abraham's body and consciousness as I know it may pass away, the spirit within me is going to go on. It's going to live on, and it's going to go somewhere else. And I don't know exactly what that is. But I know that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. And that's ultimately what all of us are. We're energy. And so, once again, people who have past life experiences or have come back from the other side, they have some impressions. They have some feelings, but no one can completely say exactly what that is, because you're going to go into a field of energy that is beyond this three-dimensional world, if such a thing happens. I'm definitely not wishing that. I really enjoy my life more than ever right now. But I'm just saying this because how much of worry and fear and hoarding, what good is that going to do you? What quality of life are you having? What I suggest to you, what the point of this video is, no matter what happens, connect with your values, connect with your heart, connect with the Great Spirit, and live in alignment with that. When you do that, you are going to shift the collective in a different way. But no matter what happens, even if the fear and the darkness is overwhelming, when you have that, then you will always be connected, and you will know that you're living on purpose, and you can have some peace in your heart knowing that. It's Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, and I am peacing out for the day. See you on the other side.